Hello everyone, today we're learning about symmetry and asymmetry. We're also going to be learning about balance. And balance is the equal distribution of visual weight in a composition. So a composition is basically what we're going to be making today. So it's generally just our art piece. And we have a couple of things that affect balance. So we have color, shape, line, and texture. I'm not going to read these to you guys exactly what it says, but light colors are lighter than our darker colors, and darker colors are heavier. Brighter colors are visually heavier, and then dull colors are a lot lighter. So say we have a red circle and a dull yellow circle. The red circle is going to look a lot heavier. For shapes, smaller shapes are lighter, and larger shapes are coarse, heavier. So if we have 4 small squares and then 1 large square, they'll look about the same in our configuration. And complex shapes, just like geometric shapes, hexagons and trapezoids, their weight is a lot heavier than simple shapes like circles and squares. Thin lines are a lot lighter than thick lines, and smooth textures are a lot lighter than our dark jagged lines. And of course, our values, light values, are a lot lighter than dark values. So what is symmetry? So symmetry means that an artwork, if you cut it down the middle, it's the same on both sides. So George O'Keeffe's Cow Skull is a great example of symmetry. We can see both sides are pretty equal and pretty much the same. And if you look to our little example for our central axis line, we can see that a little tiny picture is directly cut in half. It has 2 circles on each side. It has a little square on each side. It has all of those little indications to make it completely symmetrical. This next picture is a really great example of something being symmetrical horizontally. So our next mountain picture, of course, we can see the mountains are mirrored images of each other, especially since it's on the waterline. So asymmetry. What is asymmetrical? Next, we're going to talk about asymmetrical things. So this painting right here is a great example of something being asymmetrical. So it just basically means that the painting cannot be directly cut in half either way, but there's still balance into it. So we can see that the girl itself, she's surrounded by this lovely dark grass, but up above where the house is, it's nice and bright. But the girl herself, she is very, very bright. But the houses, they're very, very dark, and they balance each other. So here's just some more examples of symmetry in nature, which are bisymmetrical. So they're symmetrical in 2 parts. We have butterfly wings, a strawberry cut in half, leaf flowers, an insect's body, a spider, feathers, and a spider web. A spider web is also a great example of radial symmetry, since it will be the same almost all the way around. All right, and our goals for today are I can learn about balance and symmetry in art. I can learn about George O'Keeffe. I can draw a half frog using lines, and I can cut and glue my design. We're also going over Anchor Standards number 4 and 11, and we are needing 2 different color sheets of paper, scissors, glue, and a pencil. Hello, hi everyone, it's Miss Miranda back with another little video. Of course, this is what we are doing today. What we're going to be needing, our supplies are 2 sheets of our color paper from our kits. You'll need scissors, glue, and generally just something to draw with. It can be anything, of course. And one of the big things about this one, if from last week in your art kits you have one of your half pages, go ahead and use that. That's going to be extremely helpful. If not, this is what you're going to do. You're going to choose one of your pieces of paper to be your frog color. I'm going to let my orange be my frog color. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure my paper is landscape. I'm going to fold it in half. And then I am going to cut it along the line that we had just made. I'll take my scissors, and all I'm going to do is cut a nice, great straight line. Put this one away in my art kit. Then I'll take out my new little half. And what we want to make sure that when we are drawing on it, it is nice and tall like this. It is now portrait for its proportions. We don't want it like this, that is too long. We want it nice and tall. So what we're going to be doing next, we're going to draw our little frog. I'm going to set out one of our examples. It's a great example of our little frog. So the first shape that we're going to want to make, we're going to want a nice diagonal line. Not too close to the top, but pretty close. A nice curved line. Or if I'm going too fast, remember to pause, guys. Slow it down. Watch it again. All right, and then from here, we're going to make a nice C-shaped curve, kind of like it's on its side. A nice C-shaped curve. All right. And from there, we're going to need 3 little toes. 1, 2, 3. Yours may be bigger, yours may be smaller. It is all right. And what we're going to do, we're going to add a similar shape for the bottom of the arm. They're going to be parallel to each other. Nice and curved. All right. We're about halfway done with our little frog. We're going to give his belly a nice C shape. We're going to go from an angle line, curve, and make another angled line. My frog's kind of skinny this time. That's okay. And for the leg, it's that same thing. I'm going to make a nice curved line. It'll kind of look like a J on its side, nice and easy. And then from here, I'm going to go back up just a little bit. Give him 3 little toes, just like that. The same thing we did with our arm. We're creating that little parallel curved shape. There we go. If yours looks a lot different than mine, that's perfectly fine. All of ours are going to be different. And then what I like to do, I like to go up and then out. I still have some space right here. I don't want to take his little butt all the way down. I want to leave some space, just like I left some space up here. And just how some space is also left up here. There we go. So of course, what we're going to be doing next, we're going to have to cut out our frog. I'm going to try to be very careful and cut it out along its lines. When we are done cutting this out, we should have 2 pieces. Not 3, not 4, not 5, 2 pieces. So I'm just trying to be nice and careful and cut this all out. Messed up a little bit, that's all right. Perfect, and then, whoop. There we go. Now we have these 2 pieces. It should look something like this. Our little frog should be able to come out of that perfectly. So what we're going to be doing next is we're going to take our second sheet of paper and take it just like that. I'm going to align my froggy outline just like that. And I'm going to want to glue this down. So I'm gonna want to glue this down. I'm gonna take my glue. I'm gonna glue this down. Adding a generous amount of glue. I'm going to take back my little paper. Bring it down. Just like that. And I am going to glue this down. There we are. Just like that. And then what we can do, we're gonna take our little froggy body, I'll place him back in there. What we can do, we can flip him around to create that symmetrical shape again. We can see some positive space going on, some negative space. It's all nice and good. There we go. So I'm gonna do, take my glue again. And just glue down his little froggy body. Oop. Try to be nice and careful with my glue. And there we go. All nice and finished. And of course you can always do this with other shapes you can always do this with other shapes and patterns as well. It does not have to be just a little frog shape. We can make flowers, cut it out, and then paste it on the other side, and it'll create that same shape. So once you guys are done, you guys can add whatever types of designs or patterns that you will like. And these are all yours. So I want to tell you guys thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a great day. See you next week.